What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today, happy Monday. It's the start of the week. Probably a short little video. I don't really got a whole lot going on. Mainly because I just don't. I got a few things that I need to do. One of them is I need to take a small section out of this mid plate. So that way we can get this motor shifted over to the passenger side a little bit because it is pretty heavy on the driver's side. Now, I did say that I'm supposed to be getting a bunch of packages today or Friday, and I was going to show you guys. I only got one, so maybe I'll show you guys at the end, and we go over what suspension we've chosen to do and where we're going with it and things of that nature. But I guess first things first is I'm going to get a set of calipers out. I'm going to just kind of take a small mount out of that mid plate, make a nice straight line, then make a nice straight cut, and then go from there. That's kind of going to be step one of today, and then we're going to see where that takes us. I know I got a whole bunch of scrap metal I got to clean up from cutting stuff out, and also I'd like to clean up a lot of this undercoating. It just sticks to everything. It makes everything a mess. So I definitely want to get to cleaning that up as well. So kind of just, this is just kind of me on the weekend getting ready to get back to this thing on Monday, kind of start the week off fresh. So come with me for that journey. I'm going to start kind of taking a small amount out of that mid plate, and then from there, I'll cut it and try to scooch this thing over so it looks a little bit more centered. And then hopefully we'll get to building some mounts and stuff for the motor this week. We can get that where the front plate and the mid plate are bolted in, ready to go. So motor mounting is done. Then it'll probably be trans mount. And then from there, we will probably, because I should have all my stuff, we'll be back here figuring this out, doing this. Don't mind all the garbage. Like I said, it's cleaning day, so we're taking care of some stuff. But that is where we're at. That is what we got going on today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy this little video. I'm sure it's going to be kind of short, but it is what it is. Not a whole lot going on at the moment. We're just kind of taking the steps to get ready for next week. We're going to hit this thing hard and accomplish a lot. So that's what we got going on. That is where we're at. Thank you guys for tuning in. Happy Monday. And I'm going to go cut a little bit of this mid plate up and hopefully slide this motor enough over, and that way I'm not sacrificing this fit here by cutting that side up. But all right, we're going to see what happens. I'm going to start cutting. I say that way too much on this thing. I cut a lot. It's all right. All right, let's start cutting, get into this thing. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to get to it. Kind of an update on where we're at. So as of right now, I have marked out about a 1/4 inch on the mid plate, and that is what I'm going to start by. I'm going to start with cutting that much off. What we are battling with right now is, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but our measurements don't line up left to right. And one of the main causes for that is because the motor is, this is backwards. The motor is kicked this way. So the tail shaft of the transmission is actually pointing to the driver's side. It's pointing to the driver's side because we cannot move this mid plate over. So I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch off the mid plate, hopefully allowing the rear of the motor to shift over, which is then going to change our measurements up here, get this thing more straight, get it more center in the car. And that is where we're at. That's your little update. Alright guys, so here we are. As you can see, I have trimmed the mid plate a little bit, about 1/4 inch, and now the motor looks pretty center, and I feel like it's pretty center. However, it's in between the frame rails is not center. Now it may look center in the car, which in my opinion it does. Not too bad. But if you've worked on anything from 70s, 80s, 90s, I'm sure you noticed that the driver's side is always going to be a little bit different because they need to make room for the steering. So that is going to shift everything towards the passenger side because they need to make room for the steering. So if we do a quick little math here, here's what we'll find out. If I'm right about this, to this bolt we are what? 12 1/4 maybe to the center-ish. So, if we come to this side, I gotta do this one-handed, hold on. Bear with me, technical difficulties. We are 13. So we're about, 3/4 inch off. But that's not bad. Because of the steering, everything normally has to be moved over to the passenger side. That's why we're closer on the passenger side, but it looks center of the car. Now, here's how I can prove this to you really quick. We'll go to the tranny tunnel in the back. Do some quick math here. About, let's see. Again, I'm doing this one-handed, so bear with me. Let's say about center of the tranny tunnel. Or transmission tunnel, I don't know what you guys prefer. We'll call that about center. To the pinch weld. Hold on, bear with me. To the pinch weld, and 27 3/4 we'll say. Now, if we go to the other side, you can tell just by looking at it how much different it is, but this is gonna help prove that the motor's pretty center. When we go to the center of there and we see that it's 28 1/4-ish. So we got 28 1/4 and what did I say? 27 and, let's find out. We got 28 1/4 and 27 1/2. So we're still about spot on with my 1 inch to 3/4 inch off of difference. There is a difference of 3/4 inch to an inch, and that is mainly because from the factory you had to make room for steering components, so that shifted everything to the passenger side, and that is in just, I don't know about recent cars, but the Buicks, like the Buick, the S10, so, you can kind of go through 70s, 80s, 90s cars, everything's shifted over. I'm sure still to this day, everything's shifted over to the passenger side. But what that means, also I did clean up the table, at least the tops of the table, and it's not so, there's no more undercoating. But what this means is that I have found center-ish. With two people, one working the transmission, one kind of working up front, we can get it way better close to center, and then we can really start building our mounts for it. So that is super cool. We have found the placement of the LS motor, and it looks pretty good. Not bad. It might come forward a little bit, maybe not. I might just make room for some things with the tunnel, or with the firewall, I should say. Mainly because I want this thing as far back as possible. It just helps with weight transfer, so I want it far back, as close to the firewall as possible, and up high with the crank center line. So it weight transfers well. Now, speaking of weight transfer and chassis setup, I'm going to tell you guys this rear suspension that we are going to use in this car. And I got a box, so I'm going to cut the camera off and we will come back to that. Okay, so I am sitting underneath the rear of the Buick, right here. And the Buick and the Fairmont have two things that are, well, one thing in common, a few things, but this main thing in common, and that is the rear suspension we are going to use. So if you know the Buick, then you know it is not a stock four-lane car like they come. It is actually a ladder bar chassis, and it's actually kind of back half. You can see the frame rails up there. So what does that mean? Well, that means the Fairmont is going to go from a triangulated four-link, you know, stock suspension, stock location stuff. It is going to be a ladder bar car. And the people I've talked to, from my understanding and the things I have looked up, yes, a parallel four-link is the ultimate end goal. Like, that is the best you can do. I can do a ladder bar cheaper than a four-link. Now, what I mean by that is I have all the ladder bar stuff here. I got ladder bars, I got mounts, I got things like that. All I'm missing were frame rails and some brackets. So we actually got some brackets here, and I got these kind of to a custom length to fit the down bars that come off the halo, or not off the halo, off the main hoop. They come down off the main hoop. I got this kind of cut custom per se. All they really did is ask for them to not weld it together. You can buy these kits from S&W welded together. Pretty much cut your stuff out, weld them in yourself. I requested that it came unwelded, mainly because I need to put these frame rails in certain locations. So what we got here, we got brackets, and we got our little piece of paper here that's going to tell me what I need to do. And this is what you can see. I am waiting on these frame rails to show up, and that bar in the middle, that bar at the end, and the cross member right up there. You can see it. So that is what I am waiting for. That's what's showing up, and that is what we are going to be building. So yes, we are taking a stock four-link car, triangulated four-link, and we are turning it into a ladder bar car because I believe that is a inexpensive and very effective way to perform well on these marginal surfaces that we are going to be on. Because I don't plan on going to any killer tracks. I do plan on going to airports, no preps, back of the tracks, and just marginal tracks in general. And gonna go do just go have some fun with the car and just do that kind of stuff. I'm not looking for the best of the best because the tracks or the surfaces aren't going to be the best of the best. You know, it's not like I'm going to Florida to race some radial stuff. I'm not doing that. Of course, the parallel four-link is the best of the best, and it gives you a bunch of adjustments, but I couldn't justify it. I just really couldn't when I have the majority of the stuff in my basement ready to go. I got ladder bars, I got brackets, I got things like that. I'm literally just waiting for frame rails now. And yeah, that is where we're at. So that is the suspension that we are going to do. We are going with a ladder bar, and I don't hate it. I'm actually kind of in love with the idea. I think it's going to work really, really well for what we're doing, and it's going to keep the expenses low. Because remember, this was supposed to be that budget build, but of course, it's kind of escaped us. We're not that far off, but it's kind of just, you know, done its thing. But it is what it is. I mean, look, we got a nice motor over there. So, like, you know, we got our mounts here. Those look like they go to the cross member up front, and then your ladder bars we'll bolt in these holes here. These are shock mounts from what I appear, and this tube is looking like it is our brace right up in here on both sides. So that is where we're at. That is what we got going on. Things are happening. That's all chromoly too, so it's all going to still keep this thing lightweight and really nice. So we were waiting for those. Those should be here by the time this video is up, hopefully. And we will be getting the motor in, excuse me, I'm sorry. We will be getting the motor in place this week, along with more than likely starting the back of the car. So that is super exciting. So if you guys are interested in that, follow along, subscribe, like, share it. If you know someone that might be interested in it as well, share it to them. We're kind of growing and it's exciting. So this thing is going to start happening really, really fast. Motor's going to have a location. Tranny is going to get a tranny mount. And then we're going to go to the back and we're going to start building a ladder bar setup for this car. So that's really awesome. So like I said, if you know someone that might like the channel, send it their way. And when you guys share, like, comment, it helps me out a bunch. So it's greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for the support. We are going to end this video off here. Happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of the week. And I'll see you guys in the next video.